What's up, nerds? Back with another video. This one is going to be a little different because it's mainly for a family member of mine. Hi, Aunt Janet. So basically what we're going to do is just three super simple, super easy introduction stretches that are mainly, or not stretches, exercises really. It's mainly for your core and your low back strength, either to help strengthen your core and low back. And I've got my little yoga mat, but it doesn't really matter. The yoga mat's just, I guess, to keep my back not dirty, but I vacuum my floor, so it shouldn't be really dirty. I've got my couch because specifically my aunt is going to be doing this around her couch, so I figured I'd try to replicate, as best as I can. You're going to need two things: any sort of lower than your couch, something to sit on. This is honestly probably not the best, but I just wanted to give an example. So I'm using this cat litter box, and so that's one. And then two, I'm going to be using one of my lightsabers, but you could be using a broom. Let's say you don't have the lightsaber inside, right? Any sort of pole kind of thing. Really what it is, I mean, you could be doing it with nothing in your hands. If you have weights, you could be doing it with some sort of weights. But to start off, you can just have something to grab to keep your hands out. You can have a plate to keep your hands underneath, or you can be holding the plate, like this. But that's all you need, really. Everything else is just body weight, and you probably will only need some of this stuff, or at least the pole or broom or whatever, a couple times, because once you get it, within like a week or two after you're doing this, you'll start to see progression fairly quick. So it's just going to be a quick progression of three things, very simple. And so first we're going to start with bird dogs, and bird dogs are extremely easy. So I'm going to move this, extremely easy as far as mechanics goes. If you're doing it correctly, you should feel a good, you should be feeling it in your lower back and in your core. So it's not easy, it's easy for setup, and you don't need to be in crazy shape or anything, but you'll definitely feel it if you haven't started, if you've never done anything like this before. So with bird dog is, we're on our back, right? And all we're gonna do, dead bug. Not dead bugs. We're doing bird dogs next. But so dead bug, very simple. You're just imagining like you're sitting, but you're on your back, right? Your legs are at a 90-degree angle, just like you're sitting in a chair, right? And all we're doing is we're keeping this 90-degree angle as best as we can, and we're lowering our ankles to the ground, and we're really trying to keep our hips on the ground. And what that means you're going to have to do is you're going to have to squeeze your core. And we're really, because a lot of times if you're sitting like this, you'll have a little arch in your back, right? We want to squeeze our core, keep our core nice and tight, and make it so that our low back is all the way against the floor, right? And so we're doing this. You can have, I like to have my hands up. You can make it a little harder by having your hands back a little bit, right? And just a simple progression. If you want, you can have your broom or stick item. You can have that up in front of you. And all you're doing very simply is you're touching your ankles to the ground. And you're keeping that 90-degree angle as best as you can. And really, you're focusing on a nice tight core, and your low back is on the bottom, is flush, is fully against the ground. And all we're doing is literally just ankles down, and we're really trying to keep this 90-degree, and we're just trying to lower at our hip, right? You should feel it I mean, if you've never done anything like this before, it's going to feel, it's gonna be a strong, it's gonna be tough, right? But it's extremely simple, not a lot of impact on your joints or anything. That's the first one. Then after that, what we're gonna do, so you've got a couple things you can do. Let's say you've got your assistant, whatever assistant, you can have an ottoman, whatever it is, right? And you've got this. The progression is obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but you can use your hands, right? And so a bird dog it comes from bird dog because your lower body is doing the dog motion, right? And your upper body is doing the bird motion, right? And so what this is it's very similar to a dead bug where you're keeping your core pressed down against the ground, except in this case, we're keeping our core flat. So you want to, I'll try and show this with my little lightsaber. So you'll see, while I'm doing this, my back is keeping nice and straight. I'm not curling my back or overextending my back, right? My back is nice and straight, and you can see my lightsaber is staying nice and on top. So I'm over my arms. And again, this one, you can start with having something to assist you, right? You could keep your chest on this, right? And all we're doing is we're keeping our core, squeezing our core, feeling this nice and straight, right? And we're just lifting our leg up. And if you're doing that properly, just like it's essentially the same feeling that you had on the ground, except now you're doing it flipped over. But it's that same nice tight core. You're keeping your back nice and straight, and all you're doing, except this time, instead of lifting your legs up from the ground, you're pushing your legs out. So it's just literally just like that. And you don't want to go up like crazy, right? We're trying to keep our legs as straight as we can. We don't want, I would do the motion with the arms, but it can get a little bit touchy. But we want to keep our legs nice and straight. We're not trying to go up. That gets a little dangerous, right? If you start down, because we're new to these exercises, that's fine, right? But the goal is to keep your legs nice and straight, your back nice and straight, because that's that's everything that we want to engage. It means your core is engaged, your low back is nice and flat, and you're just lining up your legs, boom, straight, nice out. And so again, one more, just like that, boom. And again, if you have something to assist you underneath your chest, right? If you start with your arms out, obviously the progression to get harder is you have your arm out with your leg. And again, you can see from the side, everything is nice and straight, right? My arms going straight out in front of me. My legs are going straight back, right? My core is engaged. My core is parallel with the ground. If you were to look at my core, it's straight, right, like this. My body's not twisted to either side. My body, my hips, the plane of my hips are parallel with the ground. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to be like this, right? Off-centered, hips off angle. You don't want to be up and in, twisted to the side. You want to be nice and parallel with the ground. And you don't have to hold it for forever. Don't have to do anything like that. That's kind of, it should feel, after doing the dead bugs, it should feel extremely similar, or that's kind of why we do the progression. So after you do those two, those are the first two. You've got your bed, or you've got your couch, you've got your assistant, right? You're right around here. The last one we're going to do is just getting up from the couch. Simple, right? This is a little bit lower than my couch, right? You want something a little bit lower because that's what's going to make the exercise, is forcing you to get up, right? That's also why we've got our broom or we've got our stick, so that we already have our center of gravity more out in front of us. We're not leaning back. We've got our center of gravity up and out. And so literally all we're going to be doing is getting up off the couch, getting up off the ottoman, off the, whatever it is you have. So in this case, for me, I've got my little cat, thing, right? I'm sitting down. I've got my arms in front. You've got a nice tight core. And all it is you're getting up. You want to try again. This is the toughest one of the three, right? It's harder on your arms, but easier to get up if you use weights, right? You can even just have a 5-gallon jug of water or anything like that. Again, I have started with a stick or broom or something, just because it's light and it's not as much effort on the arms. But again, you've got a nice tight core, your back is nice and straight, your arms, you're maybe leaning a little bit in front, your arms are in front of you, and all you're doing is getting up. And again, this is big time. This is the toughest one of the three, right? And the key with this is if you need to try to shift and rock a little bit, no problem, but you want to keep your core tight when you rock. You don't want to be rocking with your body. If anything, you're rocking from the hips, so your whole body goes back, your whole body goes forward, and then up, right? And you got nice tight core, and then you're back down. And then you're nice, and you're up, right? And this one is the toughest, but it's also the one that gives you the most benefits, because obviously you don't want to be needing to grasp onto a wall or needing to push up yourself, because when you push up, you're twisting your spine in different ways. You have off balance. There's a lot more ways that you can fall over. And the more you practice this, obviously the easier it'll be. And really, the core tightness, the emphasis on keeping yourself nice and steady, it really makes it a lot easier. And so it's just a good 3 exercises. Start on your back, flip over, help yourself over to the sofa or couch, boom, and then you get up from here. And it's a very easy 3 low impact. Worst case scenario, you can't do it, you just fall back onto the couch, right? And if you have to, there's very easy progressions. You can have, again, if you have a weight, obviously you don't need to use 20 pounds, right, to start. But if you have a weight or something weighted, right, when you put your arms out, that's automatically going to want to pull you up, right? And so all you have to do is brace your core, keep yourself nice, your back nice and straight, your core nice and tight. And this, just having it out, all I'm doing right now is just a little rocking forward. And just with that little rock forward, holding the weight, this is making me come forward. And all I'm doing is just keeping a tight core and letting the weight pull me forward. So a lot of different ways you can progress, a lot of different ways to come at this, and it's just 3 nice and simple things. You don't have to do them a lot. Honestly, if you really wanted to just start, you give all 3 a shot. You say, oh, well, only one of these is really helping me out right now. Then just do the one. All you gotta do then is just do the dead bugs. Again, and this is not we're not trying to build up a sweat. We're not trying to make it some whole, crazy exercise routine. All you gotta do is do this, maybe 20 reps, 10 reps to start, 15 reps in another 2 days, maybe go up to 20 reps the next week, maybe do like 10 reps every other day for a week. And then next week, see if you can do 15, right? And do that, and maybe it'll take you 10, 15 minutes in the beginning of the day. Hey, there's no rush. You don't have to rush to get all these things. It's just a simple 3, some progressions that you can work towards, and hopefully it helps with some of the low back pain. Hopefully it helps get your core activated more, and when you get to the get-ups off the couch, that will really start to, as well, work in a little bit more quad strength, build up strength around your knees, and again, hopefully it helps. All right.
Like the vid, leave a word, drop a comment, get absurd, subscribe if you had some fun. We drop bangers one by